put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It's Thursday, 16th May 2024. I am Adana Kambi and I'll be taking you through our show this morning. We're always so happy when you choose to stay with us on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It's always a privilege and an honor to be coming to you, whether it's in your homes, in your cars, wherever you are. This morning we say welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. We are really honored to be hosting you this morning as we bring information to you about things that happen in and around the Tobago. And it's a glorious Thursday morning, a good day to be in the land of the living. And so we give God thanks and praise for life. But before we get into our show this morning, we're going to go on over to the news in 90 seconds with Diana.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, May 16, 2024. Another gun-related incident in Plymouth resulted in one dead. Anthony Maynard of Plymouth was shot dead last night in a drive-by shooting. Other individuals were injured and transported to the Scarborough General Hospital. This marks the second gun-related incident in less than a week. The incident took place near the Plymouth Public Cemetery. This adds to the recent murder count, which now stands at 9 for the year in Tobago. Police are continuing investigations. A team from the Inter-American Development Bank has surveyed the Killigrew Bay area to assess mangrove anticipating restoration efforts. The IDB, along with the Ministry of Planning and Development, the Tobago House of Assembly and the Institute of Marine Affairs, inked an agreement to implement a blue carbon credit system valued at US $500,000 in various parts of Trinidad and Tobago. This collaboration underscores a joint commitment to combating climate change in the country. And finally, Finance Minister Colin Imbert, responding through his lawyers Joanne Julian, has stated that the Cabinet is standing firm on its decision not to cancel or recall the investigations led by Davis Harris and David Benjamin into the dispute between Finance Minister and the Auditor General. The response came after legal objections from the Auditor General's attorney, who argued that the investigation was unconstitutional and illegal. Imbert's attorney clarified that the investigation is not aimed at removing the Auditor General from office as outlined in Section 136 of the Constitution. Instead, its purpose is to address specific discrepancies in public accounts. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards. Never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Biana, there for your news in 90 seconds. And of course, coming out of our top story there being Tobago recording its 9th murder. You know, indeed, it is cause for concern. Biana, from where you sit, what is your, are there words to express how you feel about this and what you think about this? We are in May, and just last week, there was a murder as well in the same Plymouth area.
Yes, the situation is a cause for concern, and when I say a cause for concern, the powers that be, I know they are trying their best to, curb crime in the country, but it's really, now alarming to see as you turn every 2 days or a week, you see another murder. It's kind of alarming at this point.
And I'm hoping that, as the police, when they come onto our program, they always encourage persons, if you see something, if you know something, say something, because at the end of the day, we all share the same space and we want to live in peace. We want to live safely. We don't want to be uncomfortable going outdoors. We want to know that our environments are safe and well secured. So we're hoping that we can hear some sort of resolve coming from this. We're hoping that the TTPS can put some strategies in place. We want to hear those conversations, yes, and we want to see the actions that are taking place to ensure that we curb crime in Tobago. Tobago is too beautiful and too small all, for so many, criminal activities to be taking place here. And of course, culminating with the loss of life is never something good.
True.
Right? Thank you, Biana, there. Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, today is May 16th and we celebrate the boy child. Yes, it is International Day of the Boy Child, and so we recognize boys all around the world and we encourage them, we show them love, we embrace them, and we try to be good role models, especially the men being good role models in their lives. So if you know a boy who doesn't have a role model in his life, he doesn't have a father, he doesn't have that circle of love, embrace him today. And if you know one who is doing well, celebrate him today, encourage him today, and let him know that he is loved and there's so much great potential on the inside of him. All right, we're heading over now to our birthday shoutouts. Right, and on screen this morning and celebrating a birthday, it's Maurice Alexander. Maurice Alexander is celebrating a birthday, and Maurice, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. We do hope that God blesses you and that you enjoy your birthday today. Enough love to you coming to you from all of us at the Tobago Updates Television family. Happy birthday, Maurice. Olive Grant is also celebrating a birthday today. Olive, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and look at that pretty smile. Happy birthday, Miss Olive, and we pray God's blessings upon your life. We pray that you enjoy your birthday. We pray that you celebrate in love and that you just have a wonderful and awesome day today. Happy birthday to you. And before we get into our program this morning, I just want to take a time out to say good morning and shout out to some of you who are viewing us on our live feed on Facebook. I want to say good morning to Renrick Job. Good morning to you. Shelly Ann Byron. Good morning, Ruston Wood. Good morning, Travis Moses. Good morning to you. Brenda Campbell. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, Pearl Marie Beard. Good morning to all our loyal viewers and listeners, wherever you're watching us from this morning, whether it's on our Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, or on Amplio 102. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for choosing us. Before we get into our program this morning, we're going to go for a short break, and as we go for this break, we invite you to help us share the live. We'll be right back.
Of your life, Tata Life.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. Cause when I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down. I feel it in my soul every time we on the road, it's a miracle.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Need a fresh start? Upgrade your life with the things you want. At Standard Distributors in Canaan, life is good with zero. Get that amazing fridge, the stylish sofa with zero down and easy financing. Your dream house is within reach. Visit Standard Distributors today. Life is good with zero.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Combi, and we begin conversations this morning in studio with our guest. We speak firstly with Delicia Boris. She is the CEO of Glorious Touch, and we're speaking about Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here again.
Right, it is indeed a pleasure to be having this conversation. We're talking about skin cancer, and while we know that there are cancers that are more prevalent, sometimes we take for granted the other things that can be happening, going on in the background there. So why are we focusing? I know this month is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and what are some of the things that can lead to skin cancer? Why is it important to have this conversation, and furthermore, the education about skin cancer?
So knowing that this month is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, it is actually important to know that skin cancer is actually caused by the overexposure of the UV rays of the sun. And there's a misconception that the melanin in our skin is enough protection, and that is actually further from the truth. So that is why it's so important to have the information and knowing how to protect your skin to limit the risk of getting skin cancer.
And how are you able to give us this type of information? Like how are you positioned to get this wealth of knowledge to be able to share with us? What type of work do you do in terms of skin care and skin awareness, the cancer awareness and all these types of things? Where did you get this knowledge from to come to bring to us, to advise us and educate us and inform us on these types of issues?
So I'm actually owner and founder of Glorious Touch Health and Wellness Spa. I actually specialize with diabetic skin and foot care and also in various health concerns. I study at YTEP to do beauty therapy, also continue with community development, and continue on with my journey with studies in the UK, in studies as well with that. And I think it is so important to take care of our skin because it is the largest organ in our body, and our skin go through so much on a day-to-day basis. Knowing that we go through with pollution, touching our skin, especially our face, I know that is a habit that we need to break. And with that, we need to know how to take care of our skin, because I just always tell everyone, including my clients, our skin is an investment, not an expense.
Right, and I know you mentioned, that our skin is our largest organ, and sometimes we touch our hands, we touch our face, we touch things, and then we touch our body, our skin. And these are things that we take for granted, that, well, it's just my skin. And so tell us, why is it important to ensure, or why is it important to ensure that we take care of our skin, and what are some of the ways that we can, give better care to our skin?
It is recommended for sure. One, make sure and use sunscreen, because sunscreen has numerous benefits. One, it could help with premature aging, prevent sunburn, as well protect with skin cancer. Two, make sure and wear loose protective clothing, especially the darker ones. It could help with protective skin care as well. During peak sun hours, from 10 to 2, make sure and get shade as well, hydrate, and get a skincare regime. It is very important to take care of your skin, as it can help treat certain skin issues or help with skin prevention. You don't know how much your skin will love it. As I always tell people, your skin is going to talk for you. Invest in your skin.
And you mentioned earlier that because we are highly melanated, we think that we are not affected or impacted by the degrees of the sun or the things that, other people use to take care of their skin. And tell us a little bit more about that and the fact that that probably is not true, and why we particularly should pay such attention to our skin.
Because people think that our ancestors long ago was in the sun constantly, that we didn't need sunscreen, or sunscreen is just like a chemical. That is actually not true. Long ago, we didn't have the information as how it is right now. So knowing that we have the information, the scientific facts that skin cancer, especially melanoma, is around. We need to do constant check with our skin, use sunscreen, and you have different forms of sunscreen you could put on. You have in serums, moisturizers, spray, it having even with makeup and in lip balm. That is why it's crucial to be using sunscreen, and also reapply every 2 hours.
You also mentioned that you specialize in caring for diabetic persons as well. What is the importance of skincare for diabetics?
With diabetics, it is crucial for diabetics to take care of their skin. As with some diabetics, they suffer from neuropathies, that's numbness of the skin, and if they get sun damage, they may not feel the burning sensation of the skin, and they have increased risk of infection and slow healing. That's why it is so important for diabetics to make sure and wear sunscreen. Also, due to the overexposure of the sun, they have increased risk of eye problem and developing cataracts. They need to wear sunglasses as well, and also be checking their skin constantly.
And also, is this also applicable for the average person who does not have diabetes? You mentioned about wearing sunglasses, and earlier you spoke about staying in the shade within the hours of high impact of the sun between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Yes, even for the normal person, it is recommended to protect your eyes. Even if you're someone who wears eyeglasses, try to get eyeglasses with transition lens that changes from light to dark when it goes into the sun. It is recommended to, even if it costs a little bit more when you go to the eye doctor, please get it. Trust me, your eyes will thank you for it.
I want to also speak about the clothing. You mentioned earlier that you should wear, especially when you're wearing darker color clothing. Tell us a little bit more about, how to fit your clothes and make them comfortable and cooperate with the caring of your skin.
When you're wearing more dark colored clothing, it'll add a more greater protection. I know you want to wear more light colored and more be fashionable, but remember, due to the climate we live in, you need to protect your skin at the end of the day. Also, make sure you invest in those type of clothing as well, especially with hats. Make sure you protect your scalp and your face. You need to be very careful. I know with everyone, they want to look good. There are different type of fashion as well you could look at, so you could look good every day.
And what about, because these days it's extremely, extremely hot. So telling me to wear darker colors during the day when it is very hot, that's going to take a lot for somebody to consider, unless, of course, if the clothing is light. Does it have to be thick? Does the grade have to be, thick, or can it be light? Because
it could be loose and cotton base, especially if you just sweat a lot. You could look at that. It don't need to be thick, just light and loose and flowy. That can work.
And how long have you been in this field and caring for persons with diabetes and just general skincare?
I actually made 4 years in March today.
Oh, congratulations.
Today,
congratulations to you in that field. And how has it been for you in terms of, have you seen where you have been able to make impact in the lives of your clients and customers?
Yes, seen a great influx with clients, been getting been helping a lot of persons, even how it just was Mother's Day Sunday. I've been noticing with a lot of mothers, they've been taking care of everyone but themselves, even for facials. They could know what their child is using, even the products they buy for their husbands, although sometimes men don't like to take care of their skin, but they don't buy for themselves. And I just always recommend for mothers, please take care of themselves. They deserve it as well.
Right. And you mentioned also that sometimes men don't like to take care of their skin, but it's also important because skin is skin, right?
Correct.
Skin doesn't determine whether it's just not gender related or gender based.
Yes.
So of course, men, you too also have to take care of your skin as well. And how can somebody contact you if they want to find out more about your services, or just to get information about good skin care, or to book a session with you for whether it's consultation or an actual service with you?
So they can contact me on 477-3110. Also, I am on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Glorious Touch TT, GLORIOUS
All right. And in closing, is there anything else you want to share with our viewing audience?
I just always say, invest in your skin. It's going to talk about you for a very long time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I too am going to make that added investment into taking care of my skin, because as you said earlier, your skin speaks for you. Sometimes you see some people and you say, what beautiful skin you have.
Exactly.
And you also alluded to a diet and ensuring that they drink, stay hydrated and stuff like that. And it really does tell on your skin. So I will take you up on that. And I do hope that the viewers also take her up on that, because let's not take things for granted. Too often we take things for granted, and as she said earlier, mothers, they tend to leave themselves for last. But every single person, once you have skin, that would include you, take care of it, invest in it, and of course you can reach out to Delicia at some point in time to get further information in terms of your skin care routine. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and bringing that information to us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a short break before we continue conversations with our guest. And of course, before we go for a break, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and we continue conversations this morning. We're speaking with Rundle Fields. Rundle Fields is the founder of Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, as we celebrate the boy child today, we're going to have conversations surrounding the boy child and his development and things that unfold in Trinidad and Tobago that impact his life. Good morning, Rundle, and welcome.
Morning. And thank you for having me, Adana.
Of course, a pleasure for you to be here this morning. Of course, we know that you're an advocate primarily for fathers having access to their children. And of course, that the cause for men is very near and dear to your heart. And of course, if we're talking about boys will eventually grow to be men. And so we're having the conversation this morning now, how are we going to get our boys to be men? And I know the crime issue in Trinidad and Tobago is a specific issue that you are concerned about, and the fact that it's taking the lives of our young men and that our young men are involved in criminal activities as well. So tell us, where do you sit this morning where this conversation is concerned?
I mean, I'm critically concerned about our young boys. And I mean, for years we've lamented about the failing to treat with issues pertaining to men and how we can impact young boys. Because as we always say, boys don't grow up to be dinosaurs. They also don't grow up to be women. They grow up to become men. And if we don't address the issues that pertain to men, and even those that we're seeing now pertaining to young young boys, we're going to have the problem that we have seen rearing its ugly head at this point in time. It's hurtful to me that in a generation like this, after we've seen what exclusion has done in the past, to the past society, that we see it as a prudent move when we have innovative programs, when we have educational programs, when we have programs that will develop leadership thinking and mindset, that we are purposely in this generation leaving boys out. I mean, and these are things being funded both by international sponsors, both by private corporate organizations locally, and both by state organizations, state authorities locally as well. We've seen programs that are there to develop ICT skill, ICT for girls in our public space. We've seen programs also like I create STEM. Chuck E. Cheese just loaded that one there. I create STEM for girls only. Things that when it comes to robotics and all this new type of technology, when it comes to artificial intelligence, things that I know that boys will be excited about. And we're just not seeing corporate entity, we're not seeing state entity giving boys this opportunity to be a part of it as well. And when I often ask the reasoning is that they said that girls are, or females fall behind in these fields. And the thing is, what hurts me is that we do not use local statistic to substantiate that belief. Because I will tell you the Digital Inclusion Survey, in 2021 proved quite the opposite. That since these programs have been out, boys are actually the ones that are falling a bit behind girls. They are the ones that need actually the assistance just as much as girls need it. And it makes no sense to me, even if it were true that boys were ahead of girls. What is the reasoning that you would leave one party out just to advance the other? I would imagine that the creation of the opportunity for both boys and girls would balance any imbalance there in the first place. I see this as a very troublesome and a very frightening thing that's taking place in our society, something that I think people are actually cheering on, that we should be very cautious of, because we are now taking away opportunity from young boys and giving them a greater future that seems that will have more that will be more driven into hopelessness. And that is my fear. That is why you're seeing them on the blocks. That is why you're seeing them having less opportunity to get involved in. Most of the things that they're being involved or being allowed to participate in is things that the normal person or the things that we don't see as great academic achievement.
And I'm thinking also, Rundle, even if they bring on these programs, these initiatives that will include boys, I'm hoping, what is your view in terms of sustainability? Because sometimes we launch programs. There's the Empower TT program. There are other programs that include boys. But my question now is, the few programs that are available and that are available for young boys or even men, is there any measure of sustainability or continuation, or is it that they launch is it that a program is launched and then, it's launched and then that's it? What is the follow through that takes place to ensure that the young people, primarily in this conversation, boys, are engaged so that they're taken off the streets and they're taken out of the place of crime or idleness that will lead to criminal activities?
And that's the thing, in the few programs that you rightly identified, the people will speak, and those programs aren't only for boys. Those are programs offered to boys and girls more so. Because even MyLat now has an arm that's going to be introduced for young ladies as well. But you're right, the sustainability of it. We've heard a number of persons I work closely with MyLat that they would complain that, all right, we take the boys out of the street, we get them their passes, because that's the academic side of it MyLat treats with. And then what? We can't find jobs for all of them in the Ministry of National Security. What happens to the rest of them that goes back on the street? And that's it. There's no post follow-up, as into no sustainability. And not only just sustainability, even within the program itself, there's a lack of resource where it comes to the employment and the hiring of those who may be best equipped to do this type of training as well. So you see the training, and I'm not talking about my lab training alone. I'm not talking about CCC. I'm not talking about MIC. I'm talking about generally all across the board. Are we getting or spending the money that we need to spend, giving the resources to those that are there and employing those who are best equipped to train them at a high level, not just at an amateur level, but at a high level, so that when they come out, they are employable or self-employable. They could form a business. Are we giving them the strategies during these programs? Are we bringing in those people from legal affairs to tell them how to set up a business? Are we bringing in people to teach them about financial management, financial literacy? Are we putting in or creating as part of these programs little pieces that will make the skill that they acquire a sustainable skill, a beneficial skill, a productive skill? Because giving them a skill and them not giving them the mindset is all futile. It will only add up to you being able to go on a budget day and say, we did XYZ programs under this ministry, XYZ programs under that ministry. And where's the monitoring and evaluation that tell us that this program actually worked? This program actually changed the lives of so many young boys. They were headed in this direction, and now we have, out of 100, we have 80 success stories. Unfortunately, 20% fell by the way. We need to look at a new strategy going forward. Where's the monitoring and evaluation of that? So you're correct, you're quite correct to say that, but I'll say it's not just about looking at making it sustainable after, but putting within the program what the young people or the young boys are going to be that are going to be a part of that program can take with them to make the skill that they've acquired something that will earn them income and will sustain not only them but their families in time to come.
And Rondell, I know that you're an advocate, a very, very, very vocal advocate, and very passionate about the things that you do. Have you been having any or the opportunity to have conversations with decision makers in terms of implementing this type of program and the rollout and the continuity of it to ensure that our boys are in a place where they can progress in life the same way that they have been investing in girls and women? Have you been able to have conversations with policymakers and decision makers for people to come on board and for them to make strong and determined decisions where our boys are concerned?
We've had the ears of the people on the ground straight to the people up on top. But to have the ears is one thing, is to get the hands to move. That is the other thing. There is, and because, as I said, there is not a trend, a current trend to invest in boys or to speak to the enrichment or the empowerment of boys at this point in time. That is why we're seeing the apathy or this apathetic nature when it comes to the real and true investing in boys. And I continue to say that is a ludicrous and ridiculous position to take, because we are seeing that right now young males are the ones that are the greatest perpetrators of crime, the greatest perpetrators of murderous crime. They are also the greatest victims of murderous crime as well. So we are having an issue with our young males. We are seeing the suicide rate of young males and old males at as high as 84%. We're seeing them homeless. We're seeing them at the psychiatric wards. And we're not seeing them in small percentages. The statistics showing that they're there from 80% to the 90th percentile range. Yet, no strategies that are coming out. People have heard. They've heard us from on the ground. They've heard us up to the Parliament and the Joint Select Committee from since 2018. And I've promised to make moves. But the only time I hear or get responses from them is when tragedy hits. When 11 babies die. Then they want to consider the value of paternity leave. Or when a child gets beheaded, then the AG then remembers that we had a meeting set up with him from 2022. A promise he's made to meet with us within this month, and he seemed to have forgotten again. So who do we speak to again now other than men themselves? And I speak on men as the grown counterpart of young boys. We are the ones that need to stand for them. And next year is an election year. And regardless of your political affiliation, I request of you to request of them within their manifestos to show us their interest in young males and older males in our society. And if we sell our votes short again, we will have another 5 years to suffer. Young boys will have another 5 years to miss out on important programs that will develop them into positively influenced males if we men do not take a serious stand in this general election coming up.
Rundle, I want to thank you so much. You know, of course, as I mentioned before, that your activism is very, very passionate, and I know that you are working very hard to ensure that a space is created for boys and men in our society here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I do hope that the ears that you've had are hearing you, and as you mentioned, that the hands move swiftly to implement these programs to ensure that our boys are taken off the street. We are seeing so many things happening where young boys are concerned, and I do hope that something is put in place to ensure that they are safe, that a safe place is created for them, and that they are engaged in something that is profitable for their future and even for their present. So all the best with your continued activism, and I do hope to hear from you again with some measure of positive outcomes where this is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We've been speaking with Rundle Fields, founder of Single Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, speaking there about the issues facing young boys and men here in Trinidad and Tobago as we celebrate the International Day of the Boy Child. So we do hope some resolve will come there soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning in studio with our guest. And of course, before we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Do more, live more.
Now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Daddy, I could have some help over here.
Alright, I'm coming.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Combi, and it's now 7:39 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 a.m., you still have 21 minutes to drop the children off to school and to get to work safely. Remember to drive safely on the nation's roads. Consider the pedestrians and the other drivers who are there. We want safety on our nation's roads. Okay, we continue this morning conversations in studio with our guest, and this morning we're speaking about International Men's Day as we celebrate the boy child. And as we mentioned earlier, boys will grow up to be men. So it's very important to have this conversation. And in studio with me, I'm speaking with Mr. Michael Stewart. He is the president of the International Men's Day Regional Conference Committee, and also Edward Ted Jones, known to many by Ted Jones, and he's a coordinator also on the International Men's Day Regional Conference. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning,
Thank you,
good to be here.
Oh gosh,
did you say we are celebrating International Men's Day today?
No, I said we're celebrating the day of the boy child, but it's important for us to have the conversation about boys becoming men.
Okay.
Right. So yes, of course, boys as they grow up, as we heard in the previous conversation with our guests, that they will grow up to be men. They're not going to grow up to be dinosaurs or women, but they're going to grow up to be men. So it's important for us to have the conversation in terms of how do boys transition to men and the position that men hold in society, some of the challenges they face, and the type of support that they need to become the type of men that they are. You know, so I'm so happy to have you guys here this morning, of course, and we're talking about the importance of, you know, boys growing into men. So let's start the conversation this morning by firstly, of course, celebrating and recognizing our boys.
That's right.
You go ahead, Dad.
Well, good morning, Tobago. Good morning, everyone looking at us all over the World Wide Web on the various channels. It's really a pleasure to be here. And yes, it is very important, and I feel very honored to be a part of the whole concept of recognizing our boys on a day like this. I also want to, at this point in time, even quickly pay, a great homage to Dr. Tilak Singh. The brainchild behind having the entire world recognize men's issues and boys' issues from the perspective of the United Nations, right? And I think that has been very, very important, simply because anytime you focus light on any matter whatsoever, you understand it better. And in understanding it better, it is practically impossible to love something without understanding it. And part of the problems that I think society has caused neglect for so much of our young men, especially as we can see now with the escalation of antisocial behavior, is clearly because part of the understanding of what they perceive they need, even an understanding of their own self and their own self-worth and their self-value, has become something that is maybe non-existent. So it's very important, like a day like today, our young men get an opportunity, a real high-quality opportunity to understand who they are.
Awesome, well said, of course. I mean, as you said, if you don't know something, then you can't really understand it or love it or, give it the type of care that it needs and deserves to flourish. And so we transitioning now to the conversation of the International Men's Day. As you mentioned, Dr. Tilak Singh is the founder, right here from Trinidad and Tobago, of course, having the entire world celebrating men in November.
Yes.
And so we want to talk a little bit about that particular aspect, because as we mentioned, boys also need something to look forward to look up to work towards achieving. And so now we have this thing that we call International Men's Day Regional Conference, and we want to talk about the significance of that particular thing and why it is specifically for the region, and what region are we talking about?
Well, the International Men's Day, we had taken on quite a bit of significance over the last year, particularly because of the conference that was held in Grenada, which was highly successful and had a number of countries, islands participating in it. And so this year, 2024, we are going to be looking now to have another conference. The importance of this is that it highlights some of the issues relating to men. Men currently, particularly in Trinidad and Tobago, have the highest rate of suicide. A number of things are affecting men which are unheard of, and I heard Wendell Fields, who's part of our team, speak about the disenfranchisement of our boys and men in society, and sponsored by many of the very organizations. I saw that there are scholarships given to over 100 women. Not that we are complaining about that, but we are saying that if you want equity, we cannot do what happened with the men, where there was a patriarchal and more masculine type focus, and then we left the women out. So we cannot now do the opposite and think that we are now going to balance it off. It has got to be that we move everybody together, the same thing. So International Men Day try to put some emphasis and light upon these issues that would now assist men, and in the long run also assist boys.
That's right. And, you know, as you're speaking about the emphasis on one specific gender and leaving the other behind, I mean, there's no balance, because you mentioned where women felt left behind, and so they gave all these things to women to bring them up without bringing them in. So they left the men there.
That's right.
And brought the women forward, and the men are still there. So now we want to bring them in a place where we can move forward together, both genders. And I am a very, very strong advocate also for the equity of both genders, because I believe once we are both empowered, there's no stopping us.
That's right.
There's no stopping us. And as Ted mentioned, I mean, knowing yourself, knowing your potential, knowing your ability, knowing your power, we can do such great things. And so I'm excited about this International Men's Day, especially the conversations that are going to be had there. From my understanding from previous conversations, and of course being a part of the committee, that the conversations there are really to change some types of policies.
Right.
That's right.
So we are looking heavy to be able to bring in the research data that will be able to help us to be able to influence the policy makers to reconsider a number of things, the educational system that we use for boys as opposed to girls, because it has to be somewhat directed towards the mind and thought process of the genders. I was just back from St. Lucia, and St. Lucia has boys topping the academics. And the question is, how come? What is it they are doing that reaches to the boys in such a way, whereas generally we always have it skewed towards the girls? So there must be some balance, that again, so that you don't go towards only the boys, but you bring a balance in the whole educational system. But I'm happy to see some of the organizations really putting focus on it. I had a session yesterday, a wonderful session yesterday with Bishop's High School with over 250 boys. And I must commend the Bishop's High School for taking time off to be able to do that. And we were talking about emotional intelligence, which, by the way, the theme for World Day of the Boy Child, which is today, is school boys, helping boys learn how to control their anger and aggression, etc. And so we spoke about emotional intelligence. Today I'm going to WIM Anglican School. And you see people coming on board and recognizing the need for this. Because a society that leaves your male behind is a dangerous society. And we are seeing the effects of boys and men who feel disenfranchised in the society in general.
That's right, and that's why they lead to things that get them into some sort of trouble. They're always in mischief because they're looking for that level of validation and recognition, and so they get themselves kind of into things. What I want to put out there, though, is not a competition.
That's right.
We're not competing boys against girls, male against female. That's not what it is. What it is about is providing equal opportunities for all, for both genders, so we can both, come to the top of our fullest, if I can say that, potential in whatever area we find ourselves. And so, I'm really happy to know that you've had conversations with the schools and that you're going in there and having those conversations. But what I want to get to is, as I mentioned with Rundle in the earlier conversation, what is the follow-up? What is the follow-through? What is the sustainability? How are we going to have the continuous conversation rather than having a situation that takes place for a specific season like today's International Boys Day? So we do something for the boys today, but what happens for the other 364 days of the year?
Good point. Good question. No, in my case, what I would suggest is that every man or every woman, everybody, be an advocate for the well-being of our young men, our boys and girls. What was said initially clearly is that because girls felt that they may have been left behind, there was an understanding of that and therefore a thrust to move them forward. However, what we don't understand is in terms of building the whole concept of womanhood and feminism and all of that, what we are doing, we are actually creating victims. The victims happen to not be the men per se. That's just a spin-off The real victims of this type of movement are really our boys, because they are the ones that have been left out of opportunities. They are the ones left out of advancement. They are the ones left out of funding and recognition and that kind of thing. So one of the things that we have to perpetually do, even after a day like today, is continuously engage to, one, our governments, two, and I'm talking now Caribbean-wise, and even maybe internationally, but we need to continue to find out, do the research, bring the research papers to the fore. Why is St. Lucia's doing so good in terms of the young men, right? Let's find that out, bring that to, to operate on the level of best practices. I would also want us to, also from a mentorship perspective, because there are so many, Lord Robert Baden-Powell, back in 1808, he formed the Boy Scout out of the same thing. So many men were lost in wars. Boys became fatherless because of their fathers dying in wars. What did he do? He created the Boy Scout movement. He started bringing boys together under the leadership concept of being prepared, and taught them survival skills, and that's how this Boy Scout movement became thing. So we need to continue that. We have, I think, a singular responsibility as individuals. We also have a community responsibility, right? We need to start talking truth to power in terms of men have a gift, I think, in terms of being analytical. And I'm not saying that women are not analytical, but there's a particular nature in us that to be more statistics oriented. So when, but however, most of our arguments and most of our actions are based on an emotional basis. So now you have, and sometimes because emotion does not necessarily have a reflection on the practical, in many cases, you find that decisions can be made that are not necessarily in the very best interest. Good point. Just a case in point. Boys in the ICT concept was an emotional construct, because they immediately thought that, girls should be promoted, so they have girls in ICT, as Randall was talking about earlier. But the truth is the facts are that girls are by far more advanced in terms of ICT than boys. But there's an emotional decision that we need to push girls. And what that does is leave boys further behind, because there was no practical, empirical data to support the decision being made. So those are some of the things that we definitely have to do. The other final thing I would want to say is that we need to continue building the brand of men, because boys would automatically see themselves growing to be a man. However, if the brand of manhood, if the brand of masculinity is that is brought down, that is labeled, Michael, with things like toxicity and that kind of thing. You never heard about the word now. It's more famous than masculinity now, which is toxic masculinity. When you have all of those things as part of the rhetoric, then what you find is that it's not something that boys would want to engender themselves to or grow to, right? Why would anybody want to become a toxic male, right? So those are, to me, some of the concepts that we really need to get out there. It's a conversation that has to be repetitive, on repeat, and I think it would also help. Yeah.
And we're talking about...
If I may just run on quickly, because you talk about the aspect of what are we doing in continuity. So I wanted to add on to what Ted was saying. That we have in the organization that I formed called B-Men, we have in July Boys Polishing Camp, which is next to what used to be called the Girls Finishing School. Years ago, they had that to teach a girl how to walk and how to be prim and proper, etc. So we have Boys Polishing Camp that we use, and of course we go into various organizations. Because one of the things I think boys need to recognize that they are loved and appreciated. In Bishop's High School, when I said to the boys that I love boys, you saw and you heard the crowd react to that. Which means, they don't want that. They say, no, we don't like. I said, I love boys. I said, I have 3 boys and I love them. One boy pulled me aside. He said, so, I didn't like when you said you love boys, because it carries a connotation. And I explained to him about my 3 boys. And then after he understood that, he told me, I have 2 brothers and I love them too. So finally he said it. What is it that we have done that have caused us not to like to hear those sort of things, because it has been put into a category that is unsavory. And we need to put that back into our boys.
And that is right, is the narrative that has been formed. And the thing is to find out the origin of that narrative. Why it is men or boys, as early as boys rather, do not like to hear, I like boys.
Yes.
From another man.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's love. When you're talking about love also, permit me to say, when you talk about the love of God, that's what it is. It does not depend on gender or position or where you are. So that is what that type of love is. And I'm really happy that you were able to share that and explain that to that young boy so he could understand. And I hope more young boys and young men understand when a man tells you he loves you, take it as that. You know, take it as that and just try to understand the measure of his love for you, just as Christ loves his children, loves the church. And, you know, we're going back to International Men's Day. And I know from my understanding that the conference goes around the Caribbean.
Yes,
so it goes from
right.
island to island, having the important conversations and hoping that the islands can come together, as you mentioned earlier, to change policy and to ensure that men have more freedom and more right and a better understanding of themselves so that they are able to stand in their power. And once a man is empowered, a society is empowered. Right? And I strongly believe this. And this is a good segue into something I know that you want to share with our audience this morning. Ted, I hand back to you.
Well, you know, I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity. There are so many people to thank for this. Yes, we did have, for example, for 2023 in Grenada, the International Men's Day Regional Conference, which was its first of its kind anywhere in the world, I think, from that perspective. Right, we did have a theme song, and the theme song I think was even played here last year, which was Learn Me. And the concept of Learn Me again speaks to the fact that if you understand the men, if you understand the position, it is easier to work with them. And as a result of that, out of it, we are thankful to the government of Grenada. We are thankful to the Tobago House of Assembly. We are thankful for all the people that came together and let us bring a beautiful, I think, music video, an official music video out of the conference. And, you know, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Learn Me. It was written by Cherise Allen, all the way in Montserrat. So our women have also been behind a lot of this, you know. Adana would have mentioned earlier that she has also a part of the conference and that kind of thing. So we really, really thank goodness for the women that have seen the value in this type of endeavor. And we're going to listen to it now. I might need the producer to say, play.
Mr. Director.
Daddy, I could have some help over here.
Alright, I'm coming.
Mikey.
Baby.
This is another bill.
I know.
Mikey, another bill that you haven't paid.
Baby, I have it under control.
Mikey, you always have stuff under control.
Baby, let me go in.
No. I should have listened to people when they tell me no. Like, God forget where you live. Because I'm fed up. I'm fed up of this.
You only have me feeling like I'm a mouse in house. Right, you people outside laughing me, girl. 15 years we together and it's only rah. You need to learn me.
Your Honor, them indict we for standing up against the harmful stereotypes that have been perpetrated against the men. I come here to represent myself and a few. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society set the hurdles and we have to comply. We don't pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Enough of we get broken and we fall into the news. But they say all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand. Empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been viewing the music video for Learn Me, theme song for International Men's Day Regional Conference. Yes, and that was sung by Ted Jones and written by Cherise Allen out of Montserrat, a part of the IMD International Men's Day Regional Conference Planning Committee. Great things to look forward to for 2024. I can tell you from where I sit that it is happening again this year. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us this morning on the Morning Show on Tobago Updates Television. A beautiful way to end as we celebrate boys who are going to one day be men. And I want to say, happy Day of the Boy Child to all the boys in Trinidad and Tobago, secondary schools, primary schools, even in daycare. I want to say happy International Day of the Boy Child to all of you. We love you and we want to see you grow up to be great and mighty men. All right, this is where we end the Morning Show on Tobago Updates Television, but we don't end our programming here. We head on over to Tobago Notes and then to GMT, so stay with us. And as you stay with us, of course, we invite you to share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
Reveal my life slowly. Learn me. I just want to reveal my life slowly. I have a right. I have a right.
The target audience for this seminar would have been agri-processors, persons involved in whether it's seasoning, production and so on, as well as natural resource-based enterprises. So whether it was farmers that are would be producing growing products that would lend themselves to product development. Right, so we're bringing those partners together so that they'll be able to get the information that is required to produce a quality product. This is an opportunity to understand where they fit in the value chain and what the supply chain requires so that they will better be able to build their products to be able to access these markets better, whether it's the tourism market or the export market, by tapping into resources that are available from these different support agencies, and of course from perhaps the farmers and so on, so that their product would be of a better quality to increase their competitiveness on the export market.
Ready to export means that there's no double standards. It's one standard. So if you need to be able to get to the export market, you start the business right. And the right parts are, if you can access an export market in terms of all of the requirements, safety, quality, everything, if you can access a market outside, it means that you are ready to sell locally, and it means that you can build your ability to meet the export market. It is not easy as a small producer to get onto the export market because you have large and big brands. But one of the sessions we had yesterday spoke about very small to small trade categories. And we know agri-SMEs are very small. So it means that there is an opportunity for them to export under the very small to small trade category. But it also means that they have to meet some basic standards. And that is a message today. Once you meet those standards, whether you're small or very small, there is a space for you on the export market.
I think a lot of people are just kind of focused on the local market, but showing them the possibilities of exporting and what it takes to actually export is a great eye-opener. This session is really great in terms of informing us about the options available for financing, informing us about information that will take us to the next level, and how to make our businesses sustainable.
One of the areas which I think is very important moving forward for farmers and processors is the session on the green value chain, led by the Cropper Foundation, and how businesses can be a bit more sustainable in our processes, from both ends, producers and agro-processors. So that particular area, I think that we need to hear a lot more of, especially in the Tobago space, where we are about preserving our natural environment.
Really and truly, I have not regretted coming to have it done because it was quite informative in that stuff that we can access. It's a networking where we can meet the different farmers and what they offer and be able to get our byproducts.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated.
I am your host, Chanel Felix, and you know when you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask the questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's conversations, I'm going to give you your news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Another gun-related incident in Plymouth resulted in one death. Anthony Maynard of Plymouth was shot dead last night in a drive-by shooting. Other individuals were injured and transported to the Scarborough General Hospital. This marks the second gun-related incident in less than a week. This incident took place near the Plymouth Public Cemetery. This adds to the recent murder count, which now stands at 9 for the year in Tobago. Police are continuing their investigations. Additionally, a team from the Inter-American Development Bank has surveyed the Killigrew Bay area to assess mangroves, anticipating restoration efforts. The IDB, along with the Ministry of Planning and Development, the Tobago House of Assembly, and the Institute of Marine Affairs, inked an agreement to implement a blue carbon credit system valued at $5,000 in various parts of Trinidad and Tobago. This collaboration underscores a joint commitment to combating climate change in the country. And finally, Finance Minister Colin Imbert, responding through his lawyer Joanne Julian, has stated that the Cabinet is standing firm in its decision not to cancel or recall the investigation led by David Harris and David Benjamin into the dispute between the Finance Minister and the Auditor General Jaiwanti Ramdas. The response came after legal objections from Ramdas's attorneys, who argued that the investigation was unconstitutional and illegal. Imbert's attorneys clarified that the investigation is not aimed at removing the Auditor General from office, as outlined in Section 136 of the Constitution. Instead, its purpose is to address specific discrepancies in the public accounts. And that was on News in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards, My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for $0 down. Pay 0 interest later and enjoy a 0 stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, guys. This morning, as we delve into our conversation, we're talking about life after the oil spill here in Tobago. And to have that conversation with me, I have Miss Somati Ramkisoon, who is a part of the Lambo fishermen. And we're talking about how life has been post-oil spill. How has that been for the fishermen in the area?
First thing I want to say good morning Tobago. And good morning to my fishermen and Lambo who's struggling to make a dollar. Good morning to ADFA President Mr. Curtis. My name is Somati Ramkisoon. I am the President of Lambo Fisher Folks Association.
Good morning, good morning. And we want to thank you for coming on and expressing some of the concerns of the fishermen down at Lambo. And I'm guessing it's not specific to just Lambo. There are other fishermen throughout the island that are also experiencing the trauma of the oil spill and how it has impacted them both personally and economically.
Well, we in Lambo get affected greatly. We in Lambo. Because right now, nothing going down there. It have few vendors down there. We still cannot use the water on the beach. It have slight oil. We can't go out from there. We wash the boat. They take the boat from Lambo Beach, carry it back to the park, Petit Park, and we had to find a port to go to fish. 2 of my boat home, 1 down at Buku, doing not too good. The next 2, on land. So it greatly affects us, and we're just struggling to make ends meet.
Understood. And the conversation has been in the space in regards to the fact that the Minister for Energy has went to the United Nations and they have gotten to benefit from the International Oil Spill Fund. Now, that's not the official name of the fund, but they are getting assistance from international agencies. Now, this type of funding is supposed to trickle down to fishermen, to the persons who were directly impacted, not just the persons who did the cleanup and how much the cleanup efforts would have cost. Have you had any dialogue with the THA or any other agencies in regards to financial compensation for the loss?
Nothing. Somewhere around the 2nd of March, we get 1 food voucher, which is $1,000. My fishermen then benefit from that, and nothing again. We start, as I told you, we're struggling to make ends meet. We have rent to pay, we had a bank to pay, nobody come and say nothing. Money pay, yes, but money didn't pay to us, they pay to the contractors and them.
Right.
Who came from Trinidad, nothing for Tobago, and they never talk about nothing compensation. So we fishermen, nobody never come and say nothing about that.
Right. And so for clarity purposes, the fund is the International Oil Pollution Fund. Okay. And the minister, he would have gone to get access to it, which was granted to us. Now, how are the fishermen planning to assess the damages and the loss in order to claim for it?
Yeah, I am the president, I told you, so I'm going to do that. I know we have a database where the both of them come in, we write down everything, how much they catch, the date, the weight, the species of fish.
Okay.
And my fishermen go Sunday to Sunday in the sea. They have no time to party, they have no time to go nowhere. So it's that what they do for a living. I have some data. Also, we have some data from a young man that's come on the beach and take it from fisheries. I don't know if fisheries have it. But I know I have some, because when the boat goes out, I personally just go down there and take the data from that. And I will work with that and put it together for my fishermen and the vendors and them for me to get compensated. I am a fisherwoman too, you know. I go out in the sea and fish and come back and sell my own fish. Now I am not doing nothing because I am not going down to Buku to go on a boat to go out and fish. My son go to Buku, they move the boat from Lambo. He cannot bring it, and he still can't bring it back down to Lambo. $100 to go in the morning and $100 to come back in the evening around 10 o'clock.
Understood. So is it that the equation that you're using is the average catch?
That's what we have to use.
By the amount of days that you guys have been out of business?
Yes. Sometimes they go in the sea in the night. When they go short, they get about 200, 300 pounds of fish. When they go long overnight, 11 o'clock in the morning, and come back next day around 2, 3 in the morning, they come back with a boat full of fish, which is 1,500 pounds of fish. Nothing less. It could be more.
Right.
Different species of fish. So we have that data where I could see, yes, Ramkey soon have that data to show we fishermen.
Excellent. And you indicated that none of the government agencies have reached out to you guys directly, and you are the point person to discuss any sort of compensation with. Have you reached out to any of these agencies?
You can't meet up to them. You cannot meet them. The only person others talk to is Mr. Curtis, ATFA. ATFA that others have to talk to. You can't reach out to nobody after they give that $1,000. You never ever see them again. You never hear nothing about again. My son take his boat and walk it on the port, and nothing was done on that. The boat damaged on the day home. RPM damaged on the day home. The engine mash up and the boat mash up. The two boats are home. RPM and Fishermen won.
Understood. Well, as I said before, from the information presented to me, there is financial compensation available.
I welcome that so much, honey. I welcome
from the International Oil Pollution Fund. The question is, how is it going to be dispersed? When is it going to be dispersed? And is the dispersion going to be equitable to the fishermen? So I believe that moving forward, your role may be to tap into how you get access to the fund for the fishermen under your association. But let's look at the marine life. How has, I mean, you said that nothing is happening because there's still oil in the water.
Yeah, they have slight oil in the water still, so we cannot take the two fishermen. They have 2, 3, 4 fishermen back down there because they moved them back from the food harbor. The first place should have carried them fishermen in the food harbor. We're talking about food harbor. We're talking about fish harbor. Food hub, and they didn't have nowhere for the water to run out. You have, when they're selling fish, you have the place for the water to run out. You can cause a scent. They bring them back down there. Hardly people coming to buy because they don't put a bag stick on us already where they say the water is oily, the fish is polluted.
Okay, but outside of the vending around the beach area, the actual life in water, or underwater, I should say, life underwater in that area, how is it now? Do you still have the same amount of fish coming up in the Lambo area, or has it changed significantly since the oil spill?
It changed. It changed. We have no crab there again. We see no crab right in shore. We see the crab on the rocks. We go down on the rocks down there, you see crab. When you see low, you go out, you get lobster in little puddle of water. Nothing like that anymore. We don't have that anymore. Nobody can bathe at the beaches there. No, the beach here, nobody can bathe there because the water man tell me he went to bathe and the water scratching his skin.
Right. And are there any plans in place for your organization to maybe partner with the government or the THA to help with the restoration efforts? Now, cleanup efforts are one thing, but the restoration efforts are a whole other story.
Yeah.
So are you guys planning to assist with the restoration in that area?
Yes, I willing.
Okay.
Yeah, I am willing. We Fisher folks of Lambo willing because we have the greatest. As I told you, we have a loan to pay. We have nobody coming forward to say nothing. $1,000 can't mind. I know for me, my $1,000 can't mind none of us.
Right.
From since the 2nd of March, and nobody say we get a little bit more and wait on me money. Then they come and talk to us. Nobody coming to say nothing. I had to go through Mr. Curtis. I put everything in Mr. Curtis' hand. I just talk to him. Mr. Curtis give me little information and what. He trying his best to get to Mr. Curtis work too with nothing.
Right, but you are now stepping forward to begin to do that on your own in representation of the Lambo fishermen.
Since that oil spill started on the 7th of February, I was the first responder when my son went out there and called me in the morning. I called Mr. Curtis Douglas, the ATFA president. I called him and I told him that. I said, we have to go and see that. I went, Sir Matthew Ramkey soon went, Karim Grant went, Krishna Thomas went with his boat Ocean Lover. We carry the camera crew from Tobago update, which is Candice Jackson and Mr. Joe Field. And we went out there and we see the boat. We come back all in oil. I say was tan because my whole skin was tan. Candice, the camera, Mr. Joe Field, Mr. Curtis, everybody. We had to use picture and take it off of our skin. And from there we started to work from there. From the 7th of February till now. And we do get a voucher because meeting upon meeting, meet with the THA, meeting upon meeting with the THA, meeting upon meeting. And after we get the voucher, nothing was said again. That's dead. So they know how we live it. They never come around to say, Mr. Ramkisson, how are we making it out?
And what about the area representative for
nothing? No, he don't come no way. I saw him when we had the when the boat was, I think when they was giving us the voucher, he did buy some gas for us to go out. I think he did buy some gas for us. And that was the last. I don't see him at all. He know what's going on. Walk around on the beach, come down Lambo, talk to the fisherman, see what's going on. He know where I am living, come there and see me. Let me talk about this.
Okay. And what about you making any efforts to reach out there? Have you gotten any response in that regard?
No. That's why I put everything. I just talk to Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis is the only one that with me,
so
could help me at for president.
Okay.
I say good morning to him again. I just reach out to him and he just reach out to me and we just work together.
All right. So he has been your point person so far?
That's my backbone. That is my backbone.
All right.
Everything I go to Mr. Curtis because if I go to THA, what THA going to tell me? Nothing. You can't say reach out to nobody there.
Okay. Well, I think that we have to get Mr. Curtis to come on and express more in regards to the compensation.
Yes.
How is he working with the different government agencies to ensure that the fishermen get that compensation, since he is basically the representative for you all.
Yeah.
Now, moving forward, as the president of the association, what are you trying to do to try to assist your fishermen in really holding the faith and holding down the fort while things are, being put in place for them to get that compensation?
Well, I just go down and talk to them most of the time, give them a word of encouragement, because they live by that. Nobody don't have a work on the outside, be dealing with that. You have one gentleman there with a child. If I get a little thing, a little food hamper, I just try to give it out. That somebody will still get something from it.
Right.
And the fish, they're selling little fish, but not the amount. Something to still go give them $1 in the pocket.
All right, but how can you assure the public who wants to support, who wants to help these fishermen get back on their feet, that the fish that they are selling is of optimal quality? Yeah, because the fishermen that buy fish, I have one boat in Buku. When they do catch that, when I tell them my first son, Edwin Ramkey, soon fisherman too, he move out the boat to Buku, but he do make it catch, he bring it in Lambo. Okay. So you're saying, based on our conversation, that the public confidence in the fishermen in Lambo has decreased. So persons are no longer coming to Lambo to buy fish. Yeah, even though the fish that they are catching is not from Lambo area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we started gaining back a little confidence in the people by talking to them. And the fish not catching in Lambo.
Excellent. So you have embarked on a small education campaign.
Yes.
To ensure that people understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that is important as well, to continue to educate the public that the fish that you are selling there comes from.
Yes, from Buku. Okay. And way outside.
Excellent, excellent. And do you have, before we wrap up this conversation, do you have anything to say to the public in regards to supporting the Lambo fishermen?
Well, I call it to all fishermen, Lambo and Verons, come to support us at the time of need. The village council come to support us in the time of need. Help us to go through this, what we're going through with the fishermen and them. And Mr. Curtis I thank you for everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tobago Update very soon to explain this thing about this money, because we cannot wait. 4 months now, my son have the money for the bank in our mortgage and he can't pay it yet.
Right. Anything you have to say to your area representative?
Mr. Clark, I would like you to come see me, Mr. Ramke, soon, otherwise I'll get in contact with you. Let me talk about this oil spill here, Mr. Clark.
Excellent, and thank you for coming on to Tobago Updates. And we empathize with the situation of the fishermen down at Lambo, and we truly hope that this would be a thing of the past very soon, and that you are able to benefit from that international oil pollution fund that the government
I cannot wait for that.
Amen.
I cannot wait.
Amen.
I cannot wait, because right now we want new boat, we want new engine.
Guys, see you soon. We're going to be back right after this break.
Never ever worry. 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 For the many stages of your life, Tata Life.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Deltec Distributors Weekend Special Wings Friday. 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT. Soup Saturday. 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoked bone. Special $150. Super Sunday. 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltecdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special.
She ride the wave, come jump in the range, and jump funny, that's much your money mean. Don't need your love, that I cost me if pay. Like King Solomon, a bag a girl to me name. Every girl rock out, Lord, rock out. Me say hot girl, understand your time to step out. Big bumper girl, your time to get scrub out. Hand on your knee, you treat a girl and your and every girl I get wild out tonight. Party in my out tonight. If she suck me a fine out tonight. And you don't know what a wild out tonight. Out the blue light, yeah, try out the back.
Need a fresh start? Upgrade your life with the things you want. At Standard Distributors in Canaan, life is good with zero. Get that amazing fridge, the stylish sofa with zero down and easy financing. Your dream house is within reach. Visit Standard Distributors today. Life is good with zero.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago and Tobago Up. Conversations, but before we continue our conversations, from all of us here at Tobago Updates, we want to say a hearty congratulations to the newly appointed Senior Superintendent, Mr. Rodil Kirk. Good morning, sir, and again, congratulations.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Tobago, and thank you for your congratulations.
Okay, so with the crime situation that we're seeing here in Tobago for 2024, we are speculating that your appointment comes as a means of fighting against the crime that we are seeing escalating in Tobago. So, right as we get into it, some of your plans to combat what we have been seeing in terms of the crime escalation here in the island.
Well, again, our mandate is to make every place safe throughout Trinidad and Tobago. More so, I am within the Tobago space. So the aim and objective is to, create that, have the police the island so that, our citizens could feel safe. What we have seen, and this is unprecedented over when in comparison to the last couple of years, we have seen an uptick in violent crimes, more so shootings and woundings in terms of and robberies. We have seen that. Even our murders, we are now at number 9. Notwithstanding that, I know that our officers have been out there. We have been on the ground. We have engaged in a lot of anti-crime measures so far. You will see it started in the week and you will see it continuing. The positive that I can report is that one of the murders which occurred in March, we have a suspect now in custody, and it is likely that consultation would be done. So it is likely that something positive will come out of it. In respect to the shootings which occurred in Speyside a couple of weeks ago, we also have suspects in custody, and we are confident that persons would be charged. There may be some good news before the end of the day. Last night's incident was a bit fortunate, I can see, because even just right after the police left the area, the incident occurred. And it tells me something. I know our police have so far gathered some intelligence that which we are working on. It's not what we can reveal to the public, but in situations like these, I sometimes ask the public to just be patient, because the police investigation is not always about speed. So sometimes we don't give away accuracy for speed. We need to get it right. What we recognize as well, that the weapon of choice was a high-powered weapon. Looking at the spent shells that were recovered. So we are seeing that trend throughout the island, and we are asking all members of the public to be more vigilant in terms of when they are out socializing. It can't be business as usual. Right? The police alone can't do it, and we need also the people to police their area. So this is something that we are going to do in our outreach. We are going to have that consultation with the public as to how we can police your community, and we will have suggestions and have that interaction, come up with the best solution with how we can treat with police in the communities. More so Plymouth, which you realize that in less than 2 weeks, we have 2 major incidents happening in that area.
Now, what do you say to members of the public who have questions or have been speculating that this murder that occurred last night is related to the murder that happened a couple of days ago in Plymouth?
I cannot confirm or deny, because the police operate on evidence, and the police don't just go by hearsay. So our intelligence suggested some things, but it's not that we can directly see that something is connected to it. But we are going to explore all possibilities based on the intelligence that is coming in. And, we can't confirm to say, well, okay, yes, it is related to that. No, because we don't have the evidence at hand to see that.
What is the TTPS in Tobago doing to restore public confidence?
Right, and you would have seen that we had engaged with our community stakeholders, our station councils. We had done a lot of community walkabouts as recent as even last week, and we are engaging in town meetings so that we go to the people. As I say, we are directly engaging with the communities so that we can come up with solutions to issues within the community. So those are some of our initiatives going forward. You would see that we have increased our direct patrols in those areas that are prone to those issues of shooting. You have seen, we have done all of that. We have uptick our exercises on the ports. We have uptick our exercises on the roadways. However, the police can be omnipresent. So we still have a lot to depend on members of the community in order to have that information directly channeled to us so that we can act or respond quickly whenever there's a situation. But we are trying all the preventative measures. However, as I indicated, we can't be omnipresent, but we are doing our best.
Just a few days ago, the Minister for National Security, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, stated that the crime situation that we're seeing in Tobago is directly correlated to the gang violence that's happening in Trinidad. Can you confirm this?
I can't confirm exactly what the minister is saying. Though there are some elements, yes, could suggest it. You know, the minister may have his information from a different source. I would have information from a different source. But at the same time, yes, there may be some elements of it, but to say or to repeat after the minister, I won't engage in that. I would, based on the intelligence I have, yes, there is some correlation, but to totally say, well, okay, all of it is in respect to that, no, I can't say that.
In regards to your new appointment, there has been a public consensus in the past that most head of police, they come in with the right intentions, they come in with passion, fervency, and a vision for change, but they end up getting comfortable and just becoming relaxed. What is your strategy to ensure that the vision that you come in with, you maintain it throughout your tenure as superintendent?
Well, I don't know I don't have any empirical data to suggest the issue that you just raised. You see, what we operate based on our policies and mandates given to us. And the main thing is to minimize, you know, the occurrence of crimes or try to prevent crime. And to prevent and also to detect crime. So we are going to be focused on doing that, exactly, the basics, right? We are going to make sure that our persons in charge of investigations pursue it, you know, relentlessly. That is what we aim to do. We aim to put boots on the ground so that we can prevent, because the police, I don't want people to look at the police that we are just there to lock up. We are going to engage all the stakeholders and we are going to use all our resources, whether it be to engage the youths, to do that through our youth clubs, through all those community engagements, activities. We need to be different, and it's not just about being relaxed. People tend to see the police as being relaxed, but no one knows the challenges that we face as well. You know, we don't have that magic wand to just wave and make everything right. So it's a work in progress. I know persons, you know, would like to see certain things, you know, as quickly as possible. But what I want to assure the public is that, you know, I can't do it alone. So I must first do that assessment with the people I work with. And we will have those consultations going forward with the internal agencies, the external agencies, and even you, the media. We have to use different strategies in terms of how we treat with criminal investigations and crime and criminality on the island. And that is what I intend to do.
Excellent. Now we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. When I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down. I feel it in my soul every time we on the road. It's a miracle. A million strong come together.
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on the beautiful island of Tobago on Tobago Updates. Now we have been chatting with the newly appointed Senior Superintendent, Mr. Rodell Kirk, and we have been talking about crime and violence on the island of Tobago, his new appointment, some of his visions and ideas for fighting crime in Tobago and some of his strategies moving forward to assist in restoring public confidence in the police service. Now, one of the things that you would have indicated before we went off to the break is that from the crime scene last night, the spent shell that were left on the scene indicated the use of a high-powered rifle. Is it that we're seeing an uptick in the amount of high-powered weaponry in Tobago?
And whilst I may not want to comment, yes, that is the trend we have noticed. Again, I have said on another platform that I believe it's time for us, the public, to fight back, or fight back with the police. Because we have seen, what I've said is that, you know, people tend to highlight when the police are out doing what we do. And yet people don't highlight what the criminals are doing when they do. So I urge, it's a simple thing that could happen, you know. Let us put the spotlight on the criminals. So when we see somebody suspicious driving up and down in your village, call us. I assure you that we will act, and we will act decisively. So this is what, you know, we are seeing it, and I know the criminals won't just walk around with it on the roadway. They have to move around in vehicles. I want to tell people to get away from the idea that when you see police doing road checks or stop and search, it's only just for traffic purposes or to issue tickets. That is not what we are about, right? So I just want the public, sometimes you may be inconvenienced, but you yourself have a role to play with your safety as well, not just the police.
Right. In Trinidad recently, specifically in the Tunapuna Regional Corporation, we saw that there were some illegal CCTV cameras that were placed on TNTech light poles that was assumed to be planted there by criminal elements. However, in Tobago, that's not something that we have seen. But we see a trend now where a lot of persons have cameras on their homes, on their personal properties. Do you encourage persons to get those cameras as it may be able to assist the police with their investigations when crime occurs on the island?
That is something we do all the time. We ask people to be a harder target. We ask people to protect your space. So we have seen it worked in the past. We have to take advantage of the use of technology, right? Because as you indicated rightfully, that the criminals are making use of the technology to assist them in their undertakings on a daily basis. So we could fight back by doing that. And this is a thing that we always, when we walk about, we encourage business people to do it. We encourage private homeowners to do it. Because sometimes that makes the difference in terms of whether the investigation may turn out to be a success. Because your eyes can't see everything. And that in itself would, have things of evidential value to assist the police in their investigation. So yes, it's one of the positives, is one of the things that we always encourage. Get cameras in your space as well, and we just can't rely on what the government or who will put up on the roadways.
As a senior superintendent, do you intend to maybe lobby at the central government level to have those taxes removed on importation of these surveillance devices for residential properties in order to continue to push the mandate of residents equipping themselves to assist in the fight against crime?
Well, considering that you raised it, I think this platform or the media is the rightful entity in order to do that. I cannot engage in that kind of debate in terms of what I think the government should do. But I think it's something that should be encouraged where people, go out and acquire these things. So the media is the correct place to make such representation on behalf of the people in terms of that, because this is what we, the police, we could only encourage so far, is just to lend advice. Right. But in terms of government policy and government issues, we cannot comment on that.
So it is not the place of the police commissioner to make these type of recommendations?
Well, again, I cannot speak for the commissioner of police, but in terms of from where I sit, it's not one for me to, lead to that direction. I could only, my personal opinion, I could keep to myself, but at the same time, I can't see what the commissioner,
right.
should
But
do.
it is a strategy that can assist with the fight against crime. So is it not a part of the duty of the Police Service Commission to recommend areas that they believe can assist with that battle to the government?
The Police Service Commission? That is what you...
No, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Oh, the police, right. Well, the police from time to time will make recommendation in terms of, geared towards new legislation. The anti-gang was one. There are other legislation in which the police would make recommendation based because the police are the foot soldiers on the ground. But that is as far as we can do, make recommendations via our commissioner, yes. But it's not to say that, it's something that, we must be done, even self. You understand? That is a choice of the commissioner. When things are happening, they could make recommendation. I think the Bail Act was one of the things that the police had consultation with the minister, etc. So those are things that, we can do, but it's not something that at this level I can do.
Okay, totally understood. Now, let's look at the appointment of this, or I should say the extension of the current police commissioner. Now, this was done at the parliamentary level and it was announced just a couple of days ago. However, the correct procedure would have been for the Police Service Commission to appoint an acting commissioner of police while the Police Service Commission does their due process to appoint a new commissioner of police. Do you think that has had any negative impact on the morale of the police service, the way how this extension was done by the parliament?
First of all, let me extend congratulations to the Commissioner of Police on her, extension. But in terms of anything in relation to appointment of the Commissioner extension, that is not something that I can comment on. I haven't seen the evidence. I haven't heard anyone within the organization talk anything about a negative impact. We have been supporting the Commissioner and we will continue to support the Commissioner of Police. I have not, heard any negative impact about it. I think that, going forward, we can only just try to work with all hands on deck to make sure that we police Trinidad and Tobago.
However, the lead up to my question, I would have indicated a process. Is that indeed the process?
Well, I am saying that the appointment of Commissioner of Police, that is something up to the Police Service Commission and Parliament. So I cannot say as to whether the process was the right thing or I can't speak on that.
Excellent.
Right?
And we're going to touch a little bit on the introduction of technology. As we know, the world is moving straight towards open AI, AI-generated technologies, and the inclusion of AI in a number of areas, whether it be business, health. How is this technology, if at all, being implemented into the police service in Trinidad and Tobago? But before you answer that, we see even in the US where they have robotic police dogs in New York in the NYPD. So in relation to ideas for technology and the inclusion of artificial intelligence in policing, where are we as a country?
Well, again, it's a wide question that, because to use any new technology, or AI has been around for quite a while, but to use any within an organization, that is something that has to come from the executive level. Because things are not just being implemented in the service just like that. There must be policies from the executive and directive coming down, filtering down to the to be operationalized. Just like when you had the body-worn cameras, before that is happening, it must have legislative issues with it, and then it will trickle down based on policies from the executive. So I cannot speak or comment on where the police service is in respect to artificial intelligence, but I know as society changes, we will adopt other technologies in terms of working within the institution. So that change is constant, and we know and we anticipate that changes will be made. But for now, I am guided by whatever policies come down from the executive level to be operationalized within my division and within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Do you have the power to suggest or implement any of these technologies in your strategy to combat crime in Tobago?
We use what is available to us, right? And we do make recommendations whilst we operate. But at the same time, again, in order to actually use certain things, that must come down from policies. Right. It's not just that because I am the senior superintendent, I could just use this. No, because we had to look at the impact going forward, whether in fact it would assist in terms of evidential value going forward. We can't just use things that are not in keeping or in alignment with our mandate.
Excellent. Now, just as the use of CCTV cameras by who we suggest to be criminal elements in Trinidad we see that the criminals are advanced. They are adept with the technology. So do you think that by stalling or waiting to implement these technologies, that we are allowing criminal elements to have a head start over the police?
No, I wouldn't say that we are waiting or not. The police service have been using technology for quite some time. It may not be on the scale that one would anticipate, but you know, we have, even though we haven't gotten there yet, we are on our way to get there. So I'm not saying that we don't use it. I'm saying because of the now easily accessible, how criminals could easily access these things, or people in general, you may find people using different technology in terms of assisting them in the illegal activities. Yes, we can't get away from that. But I'm not saying that the police don't use technology. We do, right? It's just that you may not be aware, or you may not see it on a large scale, or the scale in which you would like to see it, because they are specialized units that would treat with certain type of technologies. So I can only speak to that, right? And I think always with changing society, we need to change with the times as well. So it's something that will happen. It's a work in progress.
Excellent. And what words of encouragement do you have for members of the TTPS in Tobago as a new senior superintendent to help them to stay the course?
Now, the thing about it is that, you know, the speed of the leader, the speed of the pack. It's not about me and them. We all will have to work together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. And this is how we are going to approach things going forward. We have a wonderful team now put together in terms of the executive of the Tobago arm of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And, you know, we share wonderful ideas that we put together that we are going to implement going forward so that we could police the island. All I am asking is for the public cooperation. All I am asking is that for the public to be rest assured or be aware that we are working to ensure your safety. And we are going to return this island to what it used to be in terms of feeling safe to go out. Yes, it wouldn't happen overnight, but rest assured, this is what we are going to do going forward. I think we have the right team in place to treat with that. And let me take this opportunity to also thank our outgoing Senior Superintendent, Mr. Michael Jackman. Thanks for his service for the past 18 months that he was in charge of Tobago Division. I wish him well in his new assignment. But going forward, with this team that we put together, we are going to ensure that we have that level of safety and security on the island so that we could start restoring the public confidence in the way in which we do business as police officers in the Tobago space.
Excellent. And finally, this upsurge in crime on the island must have been having a negative impact on the mental well-being of the officers that are dealing with the crime, especially seeing that a lot of the crimes have not yet been solved, thus diminishing the confidence of the public in the police service on the island. Now, my question to you is, what are you doing, or what is the police service doing to help these officers to deal with some of the trauma and have that balance of mental well-being moving forward?
Well, first of all, let me say that it's not that most of the crimes are not being solved. From where I sit, I see the statistics daily. We may have some crimes that are slow in terms of our violent crimes, such as some of the shootings, some of them. Because when I started the program, I told you that we have persons to appear in court for some of the previous shootings. So, as always, we have systems in place. We have our victim and witness support. We have our police social work unit. We have our police medical team in Tobago. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with them. And there were suggestions with how we go forward in terms of treating with officers' well-being. part of one of our strategic pillars deal with health and wellness. And that is something we encourage with our police officers. So there are systems in place for checks and balances. So whenever we identify an issue, we make recommendations and the persons work alongside our social work unit and our medical team. They make recommendations in terms of how to treat with these, whether it be mental health issues or other issues. And we usually go along with it. So the systems are there, right? And we utilize them. So we don't have any issues when it comes to our police officers in terms of treating with their issues. That is also there.
Excellent. Well, it's good to know that you are paying attention to the mental well-being of your officers and their holistic development. Guys, we want to thank you for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting. Thank you for joining the discourse. Thank you again, Superintendent, for being here with us this morning. And again, we want to thank you, the viewers, for making Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster on the island of Tobago. And again, congratulations to you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me this morning.
All right, guys. See you again tomorrow.